was about 3 years old, my mother noticed that my fingers and hand would shake. And it kept getting worse. It wouldn't really mess with me other than like I was eating cereal and of course the spoon would go flying or something. But then I started getting in middle school and high school and things started ramping up very, very quickly. In about sixth grade, I would have times where I would just lose control of my whole right arm and shaking. Once I got into high school, I was having times where I would lose control of my whole body and shaking and just not be able to move for hours on time. And that made school very hard. It's active. That's what they always tell me. It's an active tremor. Mm-hmm. So it happens whenever I'm trying to do something with the muscle. I'm on dystonia medication that's helping a lot now. Mm. But last March is when it was worst. I couldn't drive anymore. I had learned to drive and gotten my license, but I just wasn't able to drive anymore because things had gone bad. Mm. I couldn't write. I couldn't draw. Even when I would eat, I couldn't use a spoon or knife or fork. And although whenever I would try and eat like a burger or something, it would usually end up going up my nose too. So
I see. Yeah.
It affected pretty much everything. But that was when we got the Tremelo. And the biggest thing I noticed immediately was I could eat again. And that was kind of important to me. At times I was able to drive again, as long as it wasn't my feet that were tremoring, it was my arm.
Okay.
And I was able to write. I wasn't able to draw, but I was able to write again, and that was really important. I'd been having trouble typing, and I could type just fine with the Tremelo. I could carry things around and actually do things for my mom, clean the bathrooms, stuff like that. And at that time, this last March, my school actually went back in person for a while. Mm. And the Tremelo helped me a lot there, where I was actually able to make it through school days I wouldn't have been able to make it through before. And so the Tremelo really has just been a very large blessing for me. It's helped me in every area. Doing laundry, moving clothes and stuff like that. So there's that. My dad and I have been staining some wood in our garage, and it helps a lot with that, brush strokes and everything. Petting my dog without slapping him in the face. Like I said, driving, playing video games. That was one thing.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I was really bad at video games, and all of a sudden my friends were like, "Mark, what happened?" So, most of the time, I just leave it on constantly. So if I do need to do something, I don't have to worry about going and trying to find it. I actually have it on right now. I was expecting it to be a lot heavier than it is, and that's one thing it doesn't. It's real easy to move my arm around and everything. One thing is it does get a little hot. And then again, I live out in the desert. I think it's like 112 degrees right now. I remember my graduation, we were outside and the sun was shining on it. And it was, of course, it's metal. And at the end of that, I think I almost burned myself with it. So that would be the only real thing there. But yeah, overall, it's not too big. It's not too heavy. It looks kind of cool. So it's a good conversation starter. I feel fine about it, and I think it's cool. Most of the time, when people bring it up, it's usually one of like three things. One, they come over and they think it's super cool. I've had people think it's like the Omnitrix from Ben 10, or you said an Iron Man thing. Or they come over and they ask, "Hey, what happened to your arm?" They think it's a brace or something, like I broke my arm.
Okay.
It's just a good conversation starter usually, and then other people just kind of notice it midway through the conversation, and they'll ask me questions, or they'll just say it looks cool. I've noticed it just works a lot better with things that require more of my arm or elbow, in a little bit of my wrist. It doesn't really help with things that require just my individual fingers, because those will still shake. And to a certain degree, it doesn't help with the wrist as much, but it also can at times. It just depends how bad it is. I take it to my friend's house and they hang out, stuff like that. If I go on a walk, I'll bring it with me. We put a little GPS thing on it just because I had a tendency to leave it at my friend's house. So, yeah. There was a point where we were actually wondering if I was going to really be able to go off to college at all. And we almost just decided I was just going to stay home and try and find something I could do here in Phoenix. But now I'm going off and we're not really all that concerned about it. So the Tremelo and the dystonia medication have been really good blessings from God. Just I'm in the math and all that. A lot of the reason for that is for a long time I haven't really been able to use my body, so it's been all about my mind. But now I can think about actually going and working in an observatory and moving a telescope and stuff like that. So it just kind of opens up a lot. I'm dual majoring in astronomy and physics, and I'm gonna get my minor in mathematics. Yeah, I would like to be a quantum physicist, and it's really big words. It's not actually that complicated. I want to go into quantum chromodynamics. I would recommend it, but especially the people whose tremors affect their arm, shoulders, and elbows a lot. Like I said, it doesn't help quite as much with just finger stuff. And for those people, I would probably say a 9 or 10. Frankly, it's a long road and there's a lot of twists and turns, and often you don't know what's going to happen next. But at least for me, I found treatment that works, and it's pretty awesome. So it can take a while, but